You know, all humans are different. Every living thing, every tree of the same species, from the same mother plant, they're all different. If you can take that, the reasoning for this is you can take that into what you understand about evolutionary theory, and how animals and living things did evolve from a prior ancestor, just time after time of adapting and changing with the environment. Adapting and changing with the environment. So the environment plays just as much of a key part in an organism's life, really. The time spent here, their adaptations while they're here. That living system adapts over time. And that small adaptations over, think about how much 100 years is. I can't. I've only been alive 29, getting close to 30. But I can't imagine 100 years. It's a long time. Really try and feel that. And then take that, extrapolate that. 1,000, 100,000, 1 million, 100 million. The changes that could occur are many. Think about how much you change in a life, in your year, in the last year, in the last 5 years, last 10 years, etc. We're always changing, and that is because of the genetic code that you were given along with your environment. Epigenetic changes. We are different. Now, what does that really mean? We're really not only these evolved things through evolutionary theory that was just morically brought about, but we're also just a grouping of atoms, chemicals, molecules, quarks, leptons, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call that soup that's really hard to understand, but it acts in a particular way that can be studied and can be more statistically likely to be known, if that makes sense. We're an adaptation of that. We're an adaptation of this molecular, like spherical, but not really spherical, just jumpy soup of some kind. And we're adapting to the surrounding jumpy soup. That's a silly jumpy soup. That's a human mind spewing out right there. Human subconscious, I guess. I don't know what that means. I haven't had soup recently. Anyways. Yeah, my arm's getting tired. There's just there's an adaptation, and all humans are going through it. All humans are going through it. And so it's happening. Just because we're different doesn't mean that anyone deserves less. Doesn't mean anyone deserves less or deserves more or shouldn't be given the same chances. You should be trying to give the same chances, but you really can't give everyone the same chance. If you're born in Taiwan, you were born in Taiwan. End of story. I had an itch on my arm. If you were born in the USA, then you were born in the USA. You didn't have a choice in that. And you don't want everyone to be born at the same time, in the same place, at the same... So people are going to adapt differently. And that can lead down some notions of eugenics with Francis Galton, um, which I happen to share. I don't know how it would be implemented, but there are definitely, if you can imagine that there are differences in people, not just groups of people, any population of people, whether it be two people, the two people sitting on the park bench, or the 100 people, or the 100,000 people, or the whole world, or if there was somebody off the world. You take that group, there's going to be differences, and there's going to be differences that would probably be better to have in society, and some differences that probably are worse to have in society. And doesn't matter the color of your skin, how tall you are, how short you are, how attractive or unattractive you are, because we don't know anywhere close right now, with my knowledge for sure. How would you even do that? Who would you say that should stay alive? Who would you say that should maybe not stay alive? Everyone should stay alive, sorry. Who should replicate their genes? In other words, have a kid, have a child. Who should replicate their genes and who shouldn't replicate their genes? Like, maybe you would be able, obviously there would be some way to know. We're just not there yet technologically, but there would be some way to know if you and your sexual partner, if combining DNA, what are the chances? Or could you pick out the best one, or the best spermatozoa with maybe like wait and maybe save some eggs and try to, I don't know how you maybe even artificially do it, which might even be a little bit better. I'd be weary of that, but anyways, you'd want to have somehow where people who shouldn't be combining their genes, or it's more statistically likely maybe that they're going to have a child with some type of a disease that would honestly be less than desirable living, then those people just wouldn't have children. Or maybe it's going to benefit a future generation for them to not be born. Sad to say, but there would be a situation in which you could know how all that jumpy soup was being combined in order to know what the next move is. The more you figure out patterns, the more you would see further into the future. That's what science, and I'm just going to say testing and observing, that's what that can help you with, is understanding the future to some extent. To having a good guess, having a really good guess. So, coming back to my thought, which is originally what sparked a lot of this, is how do I feel about eugenics? How do I feel about having a utopian type of genetic choosing? Or I'm definitely for the sharing of genetic information in order to get to a point where that is possible. I think it's largely going to have to come somehow in AI complex systems, because it's not undoable, but that would be very difficult to do constantly studying as humans. But even then, it would be possible. It would just be time consuming, a little bit further than in the next 10 years or so. But I think what really matters is not that any lives matter more than any other lives. All lives matter. Then we just decide that it's human lives that matter. If you really want to get down to it, nothing matters. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter. You were born and you didn't choose to be born. You didn't choose your family. You didn't choose your genetics. You didn't choose where you were born. You didn't choose anything. You're still not choosing. It's true. Whatever your thought on free will is, you're still not choosing, but you kind of know a pattern thing that continues to choose without you choosing. You're aware of that pattern, so you can kind of guess what's going to come out next. You know, for instance, in my head, that I probably wouldn't say what I'm about to say. Fart, sniffle. Okay, there's subconscious spewing out, I guess, because why would I ever say... I don't think... When was the last time when have I ever said fart, sniffle? What does that even mean? I don't know. But there's a pattern in me that sometimes does that even, I've noticed, where I just splurge out something as random as I can to see what happens, see what comes out of my mind. Connecting funny memories, I suppose. We're not choosing. And we were born without choosing, we're living without choosing, and we'll die. So it doesn't really matter. You just live and enjoy, and you try to pass on good feelings for humans first, which is why we don't mind killing mosquitoes, chopping down trees. Some of that stuff is actually probably pretty healthy to do. Keep tigers at bay. I don't really want tigers around my children. So we killed several of them. Too much. Come back a little bit. Either way. Nothing really matters. So just enjoy, because there's nothing else. Breathing. What a joy. Being a human. That's just what we say that we care about. You'd rather save your kin or your closely related genetic material than saving something else. Even as much as you like it. A dog or a cat. What would you do if you have the trolley problem, and there's your not really, but there's your baby, your child on one side, and a goat on the other. You're saving your kid. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So that's what matters more to you. We evolved to be self-loving as humans. So human lives matter. We can go as far as to say only our tribe matters. Someone from the UK, German, Swiss, and a little Norwegian, genetically, but culturally American, but also have traveled and is currently living in Taiwan. Who knows? Just enjoy. Separating in tribes, not the way to go. It's too much. Because what matters is your experience. Your experience matters. My experience matters. You're just having an experience at all. That's what matters. And you're pretty sure that someone across in Saudi Arabia or South America or Africa or North America, or you are pretty sure that they also have an experience that's much like yours. So you care about your experience and having pleasure instead of pain. Therefore, you care about others who you're pretty sure has the same type of experience. Who's to say other animals aren't that way? Yeah, good. I don't know. Definitely possible. But all I have with the information is I'm gonna guess that other humans have a similar experience to me, even though I can't prove that. because I'm the only one behind my eyes. And now you should see what's behind this camera. I can't help but watch the screen. Enjoy your life. I really do. I hope you enjoy your life. Stop.